Crohn's colitis lifestyle. It's not just health, it's living the life we want.
Welcome back, guys, to our video on probiotics, specifically Natrens probiotics. So in this video, I want to talk to you about what is the differences between each one of these products and how can you utilize them for your needs. So if you have Crohn's disease, if you have ulcerative colitis, if you have IBS, maybe just certain types of gut health issues like constipation or urgency, we'll talk about how you can use these specifically for your needs. And thirdly, what are the do's and don'ts with probiotics? So we'll talk a little bit about steroids and antibiotics and antibacterials and dosing and timeline of when you take probiotics. So first off, Natrens has all these different products for a reason. Each one does something different. Now, these three right here make an entire probiotic regimen, okay? So these three strands are everything you need to get a therapeutic range of dosing and variety to help rebuild your mucosal lining. Now, if you are someone who is brand new probiotics, and let's say you're in a flare and you can't eat anything and you don't know what to do, and this sounds good, but you don't really think you can take much, I would recommend that you start with the strain found in the bifidobacter, all right? Now, the bifidobacter is my favorite strain. Why? Because it's found in the large intestine, which is really good for people who have ulcerative colitis. Secondly, it's the one most likely to be taken by the body. So a lot of people do really well when they're in that flare just taking this alone. And thirdly, it helps as a bulking agent. So if you're getting a lot of urgency, a lot of diarrhea, this is going to help reduce those symptoms, okay? So let's say that you think you really can't handle anything right now and you just need the smallest, the lightest of the light, then I would go with the Life Start. So the Life Start is a different strain but the same species as the B. infantis, and this strain is specific for toddlers and young children. So they have a different probiotic strain that is found within their guts, and it's found also in breast milk. And this right here is going to be much easier. It's going to be the easiest thing you can take on the stomach and very light, but also still very powerful and very effective. So some studies show that this strain can be just as good at reducing the symptoms as a 5-ASA drug such as Lialda-Acetyl, but the benefit here is we're also hitting root cause. We're changing the microbiome, the gut flora at the same time. So you get a win-win scenario with this. So maybe start with this, maybe start with 1/8 of a teaspoon or even 1/16 of a teaspoon if you're in a serious deep flare and you cannot eat anything and maybe the doctors are talking about doing surgery on you. That can be a great way to start. So 1/16 of a teaspoon, 1/8 of a teaspoon, start with what you can, then work up to the bifido. And from there you can work into the megadophilus, and then from the megadophilus you can work into the digest-lac until you can take a therapeutic dosage of each one. Now a therapeutic dosage is going to be between 7 and 10 billion CFUs of each strain. Now this is living, beneficial, super strain bacteria, so it's only one specific strain you're looking for of each one, and 7 to 10 billion living bacteria. It's not worth it if it's not living. So if you need a refresher, go back to video 1 to talk about the standards of how to get effective probiotics. Now, so you're in a deep flare, you're using those two, you're working up the megadophilus, then you're working up the digest-lac. So what are the benefits of the megadophilus? The megadophilus is the probiotic found throughout the entire GI tract, but predominantly in the small intestine. So if you have Crohn's disease and you are showing that you have inflammation in your small intestine or duodenum and you're having trouble absorbing fats and proteins and carbohydrates, this is going to help break those down, and it's going to help repopulate the small intestine. So if you have Crohn's disease and those symptoms sound familiar, maybe this is a good one to start, and you start up again at 1/8 a teaspoon or 1/4 of a teaspoon, 1/2 of a teaspoon. Work with a health practitioner to figure out what's best for you. So maybe you want to start with this and then work into the bifido and then work into the digest-lac. Now let's say that you're a person who has constipation. Digest-lac is known to help reduce that constipation and help get rid of some of that blockage. So obviously this is a great part of an entire healing program to reduce symptoms of inflammation and get everything moving more correctly. But this is when you want to focus on, and maybe you want to reduce the amount of bifido you use, as bifido is one that increases the bulking. Right? So maybe we want to take 1/4 of a teaspoon of this, and we want to focus more on this, maybe taking 1/2 of a teaspoon of that. So if you have Crohn's disease, we can see the benefits in the Megadophilus and the Bifido, all three of them. But if you have ulcerative colitis, maybe we want to focus on the Bifido, but keep working in all three. A healthy gut is going to utilize all of these, but you might want to start differently depending on what you need. Now, if you have IBS and just small symptoms, if it's urgency, if it's diarrhea, if it's like I'm at the beach and I had 3 beers and I had this burger and I'm running to the bathroom, then yeah, I would start again with Bifido. This is a bulking agent. Okay, so constipation, this guy. An all-around one, you're not really sure, you just want something for your gut, maybe just do the Megadophilus to start, as it's more of a universal probiotic. Now, the benefit here of the Healthy Trinity is this is really a convenience one. This is actually all 3 strands into one capsule. Now, I know what you're saying, Dane, probiotics are not symbiotic. How did they put all 3 strains into one capsule? Natrens created a patent where they have each strain isolated within the capsule in an oil-based bubble. So even though there are 3 different types of super strains in here, they are all isolated from each other. So this is really great for traveling, like a type of convenience. If you're on the run, you can just take this and go. The disadvantage is you're not going to get all the benefits in the mouth and the throat and the esophagus and in the stomach because the probiotics are actually going to get bypassed on those parts of the GI, but very convenient. And also it's a good stacking effect. Maybe I just want to take this one on the run and also take a little bit of Bifido for large intestine and for creating bulk. So a few advantages there. Also, you can notice that these 2 are purple and this one is green. These 2 are green. Why? Excuse me. Because the Bifido and this one in the purple were made in a dairy medium, while this is made in a dairy-free medium. So if you are not sure which one to start with, I would start with the dairy-free versions. You can get both of these in the dairy-free versions. And then maybe you want to work up to the dairy version. The dairy version has been shown to be more bioavailable for the body. So you eventually want to get up there, but you want to start with this. Now, unless you have a dairy allergy, not a sensitivity, but a dairy allergy, you should be fine with the dairy versions, okay? And that's just the medium at which the bacteria was grown in, okay? So maybe start with this, maybe work up this. If you think you're going to be okay, maybe you just start with these 3 and you get all of them. This one only comes in a dairy-free. These 2 come in dairy. So this is really what your options are. So what I'm going to do for you today is I'm going to show you how you can take the 3 different ones. So let's start with the Bifido. So here I have a teaspoon, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take around a 1/4 teaspoon, okay? Now, I don't know if you can see that. That's, I tried, guys. Let's see if you can see that, but it's about a 1/4 teaspoon, and you can just throw it in your glass here, right? And then we'll go to the Megadophilus, and I'm just going to do another 1/4 teaspoon of the Megadophilus. Now, with the Digest-Lac actually only comes in a capsule. It doesn't come in free form. But with this, you can just split open the capsule and then twist and pour in. Okay? So, I have all 3 in here, about a 1/4 teaspoon. And here I just have some filtered room temperature water. And I can pour this in, and I can mix it up. So there you go. Try to take it on an empty stomach, 20 minutes before a meal, and at least 2 hours away from any kind of antibacterial agents. So once you drink it, you want to keep drinking some more water. There's probably some still bacteria in there, so you kind of clean it up with more water. And you want to get around 8 to 10 ounces of water in full. But it's as easy as that. You do this consistently once to twice a day. Within a few weeks, within a few months, you can completely change your life. So the last thing I want to talk about are the do's and don'ts of taking these probiotics. Is 1, make sure you're taking, preferably on an empty stomach. You can take with food if you need to be, but at least an hour or 2 away from antibacterial agents. So if you're taking oil of oregano, if you're on anti-candida, which is beneficial and will make this more powerful, but you need to be taking those, oil of oregano, astragalus, apple cider vinegar, George's aloe vera, wild oil of oregano. All those things need to be taken around 2 hours away from the probiotics, so these can really get into your GI and settle in. But if you are taking those candidas, it can be more powerful. Secondly is if you're on steroids like prednisone, that's going to change the PI or the pH, the potential hydrogen of your GI tract. So there's going to really break down the utilization of this. You want to get off the steroids as soon as possible. Follow your doctor's regimens, but as you start getting off those, keeping your doses up. Try to get this in as much as possible, but it's probably going to be less effective if you're on steroids or you're on an antibiotic such as S.H.I.E.L.D. So getting rid of those types of agents are going to make these more effective. Utilizing an anti-candida regimen will actually make these more effective as well. So be consistent, take them at night, take them in the morning when you're not going to be doing much, you're not going to be eating much. Make sure they're refrigerated at all times. Even if you're traveling, you absolutely want to make sure you have them. They're going to make your vacations much better. When it comes to third-party vendors, you want to look out for companies like Amazon who are Vitacost, because these companies aren't Natrens. They're not going directly through Natrens, so we don't know if they're actually real products. We don't know how they're being refrigerated. We don't know how they're being shipped. These things can affect the standards and the quality of the probiotic, and what's the point of spending the money if we're not taking something potent and valuable? So make sure that whoever you're working with is working directly with Natrens. So some other third-party vendors, me or Listen to Your Gut, Jeannie Patel is a verified third-party vendor. Natrens works with me specifically. I called them up and told them all the great results, and they offered a 20% discount to the entire CC Lifestyle community. You can see that in the link in the description. And everything that is shipped from CC Lifestyle is shipped directly from the Natrens facility. So I don't hold these, I don't store them, I don't have anything to do with that. Everything comes directly from the Natrens company. So if you can't get a hold of these and you're like, I'm not really sure, you can also look into companies like VSL, BioK, Metagenics, Claire Labs. I don't think they're as effective and they don't follow all those standards, but there are also some other options. So I hope that answers all your questions. Put your comments and questions below. Please subscribe, like. Thank you so much, guys. All right, have a good day.